In this lesson, we're going to add business logic to our models. As we've already started to explore, application logic can live in more places than just the controller. In fact, the model should be considered the default location for this logic. Let's refactor code from a complex controller action into the model. We'll start by moving our victory conditions to the model. As we move this code from being called on the instance variable match, we'll need to translate it to work inside of that same instance. So instead of calling match.awayTeamScore, we would just call awayTeamScore, since the instance at that point is the object itself. And now that we've moved these specific rules into the model, we can take those out of the controller by switching to using the model methods. This is a nice step, but the controller is still deciding what to do in the event of a victory. Let's move all of the conditional processing for a victory into the model. We'll define a method named handleScoreUpdates to move the conditionals into the model. And now you can see how we're using that in the controller. Now, we've reduced the complexity of the controller significantly, but we can go a step further and combine the assign attributes, handle score updates, and save calls into a new update scores method on the model to clean up the controller even further. We can also add the finished method to simplify the status check for the mailer. Now our controller is really simple and we've moved all of our complexity into the model. This makes the controller skinny and increasing the size of the model, making it a little fat. Now, you need to take the starter update method on the matches controller and make it skinnier by moving logic to the match model. You'll need to move the conditional logic that determines if the match was won by the away team or the home team into the match model. In the controller, you'll use the newly defined model methods for determining who won. Next, you'll create a new method on the model that handles the score updates and removes any conditional logic from the controller entirely. Now, on the controller, you should just need to call your new method for updating the score attributes. Next, combine the assign attributes, handle score updates, and save calls into one new method on the model. Also, you'll add a finish method on the model that checks if the status is finished and returns a Boolean. When you're all done moving logic to your model, your controller should now look like this.